Alright guys, so this is the S21 Ultra camera review, and this whole thing is shot using the S21 Ultra camera itself, including this shot, which is shot using the front camera in 4K quality at 30 FPS. Although it can shoot at 60 FPS, I've chosen a more natural frame rate. Now here's what we're going to do. I'm going to cycle through all the features, the modes, the lenses in different lighting conditions, and I'm going to try and involve you in this entire process so you get first-hand experience of what the camera is like. Alright, let's get started. And now that we're on the subject of front camera, let me quickly show you the portrait video mode first. Okay, so for portrait mode, just go into more and then you tap on portrait video. Once you do that, you'll see that I'm the one in focus and everything behind me is sort of blurred out, right? Now, when I turn on portrait mode, now I do have the ability to cycle through a couple of effects, and this is the same as live focus video mode that you had in the previous Galaxy flagships. And you can obviously vary the intensity. If you want it super blurred, you can do that. And then these are the effects that you have. So, I've got this big circle. Now, obviously, it's a little odd, and you can reduce that to make it a little bit more believable. Then you've got black and white. So, everything behind me is black and white. I'm the one in color. And then there's a glitch effect, which is a bit trippy. And again, nothing new. This was in live focus mode in all previous Galaxy flagship devices. But now let's move on and let's shoot some more. Alright, so that was a hyperlapse that I shot using the S21 Ultra itself. Anyway, continuing with the portrait video, a couple of constraints. I'm using a gimbal, but don't worry, I'll show you some shots without the gimbal so you know the stabilization. I'm also color correcting this video a bit. The idea is to give you, to show you the potential and not just the quality in raw form. I'm also recording straight out of the camera's microphone, so there is no external microphone. If there's some noise, please bear with me. Anyway, I'm going to jump into the primary camera now, and let's hope the sun doesn't settle down.
So the primary camera is set to 12 megapixel mode. Now you can shift to the 108 megapixel mode to capture more details, but the file size you get can be very heavy and it doesn't yield as much benefit if you're just browsing photos on the phone. Anyway, I will dial back to 12 megapixel for now, but I will show you a comparison later. So these are some shots I took with the primary camera at about 3 PM, and you'll see that the far off objects are not as clear and crisp, but that's because of the weather and pollution here. Now the colors, to me, they look quite natural, and of course colors can always be thrown off course depending on the lighting, but more or less quite on point. Even indoors with ample lighting, I found the images to come out appropriately sharp and color accurate. The details are well captured, the exposure is well balanced, and just overall a very nice image. And of course, as I said, all of these images are available for you to download. So go ahead, download these images. I've organized all of them in nice folders for you and assess the quality for yourself. Okay, so now as the sun starts to set, the camera and the software needs to do a bit more to output a better image. And I think the S21 Ultra does a fabulous job at that too. I mean, if you look at the sky, it almost looks even with no noise, and the colors seem to be pretty well captured as well. The only issue that I saw is in some pictures, the shadows were too dark. Just look at these two photos. The parts that are black are actually shadows, and they're so dark that you can't even see what's in the image. Just something you may struggle with. And now that the sun was completely set, I took a quick hyperlapse in dark conditions, which actually came out well. And I started to take some shots in the dark with some artificial lighting, and this is all taken in auto mode, not in night mode. And I think the phone has done a good job. I mean, for low light conditions, the noise is pretty manageable and the overall output is actually quite decent. Now the dark parts of the photo are automatically enhanced by the phone's processing to output a more pleasing image. But colors do tend to wash out and lose accuracy as it gets darker. The sky is a great way to measure noise, and as I zoom in to about 86% of the image, you can see that the S21 Ultra did process the image in a way to smoothen the image noise and make it a better looking image.
Now guys, those are all photo samples taken using the primary camera in auto mode. But now let's talk videos. The primary lens can shoot up to 8K videos at 24 FPS, but it can also shoot 4K and Full HD videos at 60 FPS. I made a quick montage so you guys can understand the quality. So hopefully that gave you a good idea about the video quality that you can expect from the S21 Ultra's primary lens. But this was all shot on a gimbal for stabilization.
And so here's something I shot with the phone in my hand, and as I walk and climb the stairs, the stabilization holds up quite well. The primary lens is equipped with optical limit stabilization, and that helps out smoothen any subtle jerks, when I'm panning across or walking or moving the phone. Just notice on the left, there's some noise, and that happens when sun is directly fed into the camera for some reason. Also, while shooting, you can zoom 3x and 10x and still capture in 4K because all lenses support 4K video recording. But yeah, this was all handheld without gimbal, and I think it looks pretty stable.
And now let's talk about those 108 megapixel shots. Generally speaking, they're not very different to look at, especially on the phone, but they are a bit darker and they have a lot more information or detail that you can work with. Let me show you.
So here are both the shots side by side. On the left is a 12 megapixel photo and on the right is the 108 megapixel photo, which does seem a bit darker. But when you zoom in, look at the text called select and how clear it is when it comes to 108 megapixel shot. The same goes for this one. 12 megapixels, slightly brighter, but when you zoom in, just look at the clarity of the text on the right, which says select city walk go shopping. It's so much clearer. The same goes for images and the detailing and the clarity when you zoom in. Just look at the birds on the right. They appear more sharp as compared to the birds on the left. And look at the grooves on that ring at the top. So all of these are differences that you can clearly see when you zoom in. So the 108 megapixel photo definitely has more detail, and there's no doubt about that. So yeah.
Alright, and now let's talk about some special modes or features like the portrait mode and the single take mode.
Portrait mode is something that you can use especially on humans and pets to achieve that beautiful background blur. The S21 Ultra is able to detect the edges of the face, separate it from the background using AI, and then just allows you for a denser and beautiful background bokeh blur that just looks really good. The front camera too can take extremely stunning quality portrait photos. And photos that you take using portrait mode can then be tweaked with various effects that come inbuilt into the phone. For example, they've introduced studio mode, wherein you can vary the intensity of light that falls in your face. There's also high key mono, low key mono, wherein you can have the image on a specific background and even color match. But overall, the picture quality is super, the blur seems to be very seamless, and definitely download these to take a look. Even with very bright backlit conditions like this one, your face is exposed very naturally and the image just comes out so nice. And then there's single take, which was introduced with the Galaxy S20 last year, and it continues to be on the S21 series as well. And what it essentially does is, let's say there's a moment which is 10 to 15 seconds long that you capture using the phone, and then the phone automatically creates multiple types of videos and photos with effects. It could be slow motion videos, it could be boomerangs. You can just access those and choose to save them or just let them be the way they are. And here are some shots that I took using the ultra-wide lens. And as long as there's ample lighting, the ultra-wide photos are absolutely stunning. It's low light where the ultra-wide lens actually starts to struggle. And just comparing it with the primary lens, I think the ultra-wide lens has better white balance as well as better HDR. I mean, the dynamic range seems to be much better. It seems to handle highlights and shadows better. So I might just prefer this over primary lens, especially when lighting is good.
The ultra-wide lens can also be used as a macro lens to take really high quality close-up shots. Let me explain how using Focus Enhancer.
As soon as you get close to a subject at about 30 centimeters or less, Focus Enhancer turns on automatically and switches to ultra-wide lens so you can get really close to your subject and take that macro shot. For example, here, I'm really close and I turn off Focus Enhancer. Suddenly there is depth of field because I'm close enough. But now I can't get too close because it'll lose focus and I can't take that macro shot. And now if I turn on Focus Enhancer, there you go. Suddenly there's just so much clarity and I can get even closer and take that macro shot with the ultra wide lens and just look at that quality. Compare this to the images you take using a macro lens, which are so bad. Now you can just go back, turn off Focus Enhancer, get back to that shallow depth of field effect and take a picture. So you've still got that flexibility, but now you can take macro shots at extremely high quality. Now just look at these pictures. These are all macro shots. I'm super close to the subject, but they're not as tacky or as low quality as are photos taken from macro lens. These are taken from ultra wide lens with focus enhancer turned on, and they look super. But there's a catch. Focus enhancer images look really bad in low light conditions, so you're better off by turning focus enhancer off and using the regular lens to take those shots. Just something you should know, just look at these images and samples, and again, download them so you get an understanding of what I'm trying to say, but focus enhancer should be off when you are working in low light conditions. By the way, the ultra-wide lens too can shoot at 4K at 60 FPS frame rate, but here's a montage that I shot using 30 FPS in 4K quality. And now finally, let's talk about the zoom. So you can switch between lenses and go all the way from ultra-wide to 1x, then 1x to 3x zoom, which in my opinion is really sharp and clean and can still give you phenomenal shots. And then you can go from 3x optical to 10x optical zoom, which is still a very good and sharp shot. Of course, you need to be able to hold still for a blur-free shot. And now you can zoom in further to up to 30x and still manage to get a shot if you hold your phone stable enough. And if you still really want to get close, you can go up to 100x, but that's extremely sensitive and you need to be super still and you'll still be able to get a pretty poor, unusable shot. But you can definitely know what's going on at 100x. Now here are some shots that I took in 1x, 3x and 10x optical zoom. And guys, I'm extremely, very impressed with the photo qualities here. You can get really close to things that you want to capture in good quality without physically getting close, which can otherwise sometimes be awkward. And you can also choose the magnification level manually, so you don't always have to be at 30x or 100x. You can just, go to 60x or 70x and still take a shot. Again, download these and check it out for yourself. And guys, while you can shoot 4K quality videos with your ultra wide and primary lens, you can also shoot with 4K with 3x and 10x optical zoom right there. So when you hit record, you can see that I'm shooting at 3x right now, and then I can just tap on 10x and continue with that 4K quality shoot. And just by looking at the preview here, you can tell that the quality of this 10x shoot, even at 4K resolution, is actually quite good. So overall, the S21 Ultra's camera is full of features and tricks that will help you create a variety of videos and photos. But it's not perfect, and sometimes it'll perform better or worse depending upon how challenging the scene is. But this is what I feel, and I've said this in my previous videos as well, that just because you've got a great camera in your smartphone doesn't guarantee you a great shot. You need to be able to understand the scene, the lighting, the composition to get that right shot. And if you can't understand those things, you might still get a really high quality photo from this camera, but it still won't be a great shot. On paper, this is probably the most capable smartphone, both from a hardware and software perspective and all the processing that goes into it. So if you can really use it to its best, it's probably one of the best smartphone cameras out there right now. Alright, this brings me to the end of the video, and again, the link in the description will give you access to all the photos and videos, so download it and assess the quality for yourself. Alright, thanks for watching guys. I hope this was really helpful. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell notification icon. I'll see you guys in the next one.